Hi, I'm Grace.
And I'm Neil.
Today, we're going to be talking about strategies for comprehension in the drama classroom.
Specifically looking at script analysis.
Script analysis can be a daunting task for students, regardless of their language abilities. In a performance, students are applying their comprehension skills to dramatic interpretations of the text through their acting choices.
Script analysis is crucial for students before they begin rehearsing a play and helps capture ideas throughout the rehearsal process. In drama, two main levels of comprehension are needed: an understanding of the story as a whole, as well as an understanding of that story from individual characters' perspective. To aid in these two levels of comprehension, we will present two kinds of graphic organizers to introduce script analysis in the drama classroom.
Graphic organizers can be used to help students distill what the key information, themes, and moments in a play are. They act as scaffolds to aid in comprehension and interpretation. Graphic organizers make large amounts of information and complex relationships between characters more accessible by breaking it all down into bite-sized pieces.
While filling out graphic organizers together, the class also generates a common vocabulary for the play. This common language will later aid the director or teacher in addressing acting choices and helps the students feel comfortable with the themes and topics in the play. This universal design for learning clarifies new language for English language learners and puts the whole class on the same page for comprehension.
Without further ado, here are the 8 steps to script analysis. Let's look at our first graphic organizer. Step 1. You may have seen this one before in an English class. When initially analyzing a script, a graphic organizer commonly known as the story arc is useful in breaking down the main events of the play. Key terms in the story arc graphic organizer include exposition, initial incident, rising action, climax, and denouement. By addressing these moments in the play as a whole, students begin to comprehend and organize the events of the story. This affords students an opportunity to clarify any misunderstandings about the plot, character relationship, and pacing.
Once you've created a story arc for the whole play, you can then find out how this affects any and all of the individual characters, which leads us to Step 2. This story arc can be tailored for the drama classroom by including spaces where students add how the events are affecting their characters specifically, and indicate how and when their characters' objectives change throughout the play. This helps students keep track of the individual characters' perspectives through the journey of the play. Students can track character emotions, objectives, or obstacles as they relate to the story as a whole. Now that we understand a character's journey in general, let's begin to focus on a different graphic organizer that helps students further mine the text for jewels of wisdom. These next series of steps outline different columns of a graphic organizer called a prompt book.
Prompt books are extremely useful to help students generate acting choices based on accurate interpretations of dialogue. To create a prompt book, students need to place each page of the script in a notebook. Surrounding the text of the script, 4 columns are needed, with an additional space for paraphrasing, which is our next step. Step 3. Paraphrasing is when students reword the dialogue into language that is meaningful for them as an actor. Their ability to paraphrase gives the students personal understanding of the text, which is useful assessment for a teacher to identify gaps in knowledge. For ELL students, paraphrasing could also mean translating the lines into their first language, so they always have a reference of understanding. Paraphrasing should go close to the text for quick reference, like this.
Now on to Step 4, Background. This column should include research done regarding the context of the play, things like setting and era, as well as vocabulary for any words the student does not know. Background can also include images, colors, feelings, sights, and smells that are relevant to the world of the scene. This column can greatly represent personal preferences for multiple ways that students interpret text. These are called given circumstances and can greatly help maintain engagement in the reality on stage.
Step 5. Objective. Here students keep track of what the character's objective is and where the objective changes. You should draw a horizontal line across the page to this column, like so. This is a significant moment in the play. An objective can change for many reasons, but it is always good to have a reminder when it does. Pursuing an objective is paramount to the action of a character, so when it changes, this can help represent to a student an important event.
Step 6. Obstacles. In this column, the student needs to identify what is keeping the character from achieving their objective in the scene. When a new obstacle is presented, you will draw a line horizontally to this column, like so. Notice how when an objective changes, it also crosses the obstacle line? This is because when an objective changes is either because of a new obstacle or creates a new set of them. For example, if a character gets a cookie, his new objective is to get milk, and the new obstacle is to open the fridge. That's an example of a new objective changing the obstacle. If the objective is to get a cookie and a new obstacle is that the character is too short to reach it, the new objective becomes to find a stool. Boy, this is making me hungry. Let's finish up this page so we can eat.
Step 7. Actions. This column is the final of our second graphic organizer and requires students to identify what their character is doing to achieve their objective. Are they teaching, or educating, or scolding? Maybe they are begging, or asking, or demanding. Different actions have different emotions and characteristics and are the clearest way to discover your character. These are also sometimes called tactics and are always written as a verb. Again, notice that when an objective or obstacle changes, the actions also change. This is a guideline, however, not a rule. In comedy, a character may continue to pursue an objective with the same actions to hilarious results. Let's change our action and give you
Step 8. Here, a system can be used to help students identify the subject, object, and verb in sentences. For example, the verbs can be underlined, the subjects circled, and the objects boxed. This acts as a grammatical scaffold to help students identify what the most important words in a sentence are and aid in speech production and choice. How do you say what you say? Why? Because of the words you chose. Whew, that was dense, but also very important. This is a technique that even professionals use to analyze script.
For a teacher, prompt books can be used as a form of summative or formative assessment and are generally filled in by the actor throughout the rehearsal process. Prompt books are constantly evolving as students make new insights into their characters. As they receive feedback from directors or fellow actors, these books develop and help actors keep a record of choices and comprehension.
This way of breaking down the script into manageable categories can be tailored to suit different students' needs. Perhaps for some students, the most meaningful part of the prompt book is paraphrasing and identifying key words, so this level of analysis could be emphasized over the others. For English language learner students, perhaps the only section required to complete would be Step 8, so they can better understand how to perform the text.
It may also be helpful to note that prompt books and the graphic organizers in them can be used in whatever way is most useful. Perhaps you would include a journal at the back or limit the number of steps to accommodate different learner needs. We hope this was helpful and fun. Break a leg!